So, what do I mean by take massive personal action? Well, that's called personally looking after yourself. You know, I know this is true, that we're taught to look outside ourselves for love. We're taught to look outside ourselves for approval. And that's why we never end up approving of ourselves. And some people all their lives. Now, most people are never going to be able to take massive personal action. You do understand that, don't you? I mean, that's a really beautiful statement. Take massive personal action. But most people will never be able to do it because what you don't understand is we are as much as a robot as a robot as a robot. Now, you may not believe that because we're physical matter, because we're light energy beings, because we have spirit. But the reality is, until you know you're asleep, how would you ever wake up? People think they're already awake, but they don't realize that their subconscious is telling them what to do every day. Oh, wait a minute. Wouldn't that be every system out here? I mean, come on. The government, the medical system, pharma, watching TV, watching the news, listening to anybody in your family. They're all part of the system. I mean, only 1 out of 10,000 people actually has taken massive personal action and lives in the present moment all day long. And guess what? Did you know that the majority of the population, being 9,999 people out of 10,000, only experience 2% to 5% joy a day? When I say take massive personal action, I don't mean clean the floor better. I don't mean run around and do more. I mean do less. I mean get into yourself and find out how beautiful you are inside. But you're never going to do that until you take massive personal action and understand that the beliefs that you run your life by were only yours when you got here as an infant. By the time you could walk and talk, you are everybody else doing everything else. Now, in 2 days, I start what's called the Whole Life Coach Certification. In this training that I'm doing, 75%, maybe 60% usually are health professionals, from medical doctors, believe it or not, even oncologists, to chiropractors, to nurses, to physiotherapists, or just business people wanting to get out of the business they're in because they only did it for mommy and daddy, or they thought that that's where it was. But then they decided they needed and wanted to live their passion. And then guess what the other 30%, 40%, depends on the class, is just people just like you who said, guess what? I'm going to take that 7 days and I'm going to unmask and find the authentic self inside. And I'm going to know how to go home, okay, and bring courage home and bring faith, not just hope. I mean, hope is a good thing, right? It gets you started. I've got some hope. But the more hope you have, I think the more lost you are. Because hope can get you started, but it's courage is what you need. And guess what? But you can't have courage until you have knowing. And you can't have knowing until you know yourself. And until you know yourself, you're going to be everybody else. So when I say take massive personal action, it's about take massive personal action and come up against every belief that says that you're not worth loving. And that loving yourself totally is against nature, is a sin, because none of that is true. And this is why I tell people, come and take my course for 7 days, and you'll never see life the same again. You will see yourself differently and everyone else. You will stop judging the world. You'll even stop judging those things that we know are totally corrupted and contaminated, like the government, the medical system, big pharma, all right? Or anything else that goes in and terrorizes people, or that goes to war. And you'll stop going to war with yourself, because guess what? You will never have peace in your life until you stop going to war on an emotional, mental, and physical level. So take massive action, and that massive action is probably means you're doing less physically and finding that quiet spot, okay? That quiet spot for you, and going inside and just seeing how beautiful you are, all right? So we're going to be starting our Whole Life Coach course on Saturday, and I'm going to give you snippets for the next 7 days what this course is going to look like, Okay? And what you could participate in to find the real you, the authentic you, the you that could actually become the Braveheart hero for your family. So remember, 3, 2, 1, you got this. This band is as snug as a hug, and that's a kiss. And I'm going to remind myself all day long that I am worth totally loving, because the rest of the world is going to tell me that I'm not. And there's the sucker punch. Keep a smile on your face, stay connected to your breath, and have the best day of your life.